Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a look at how to navigate your First Baptist Tipton website. We'll get started by logging into the site by adding a /wp-admin to the end of your site's URL, fbctiptonmo.com, which will bring up a login page. From here, you're going to enter the username and password that was created for you, and then click Login, which will take you to the dashboard for your site. So this is what the dashboard will look like for you. From here, I want to show you just some of the features and plugins that are currently in use or that you may want to use down the road on your site. And most of those can be found here on the left-hand side of your dashboard. Some of these features can also be found along this top row here of your dashboard as well. So we're going to start with the media library. You can get to the media library here on the left-hand side. Okay, the media library, as you would probably expect, is where you'll find all of the images, audio and video files, and PDFs that have been uploaded to your site. This is also where you will add new media that you want to use. Adding new media is as simple as just hovering over the media option here in the left-hand column and then clicking this Add New button here or the link here. Okay, now once you've arrived on the upload screen, which looks like this, you can either drag and drop media files into this box from your desktop, or you can click Select Files here to locate the media on your device. Using this feature, it is possible to upload more than one file at a time to your site. So this would be helpful if, let's say, you have a number of images that you want to add from an event, or you want to add images kind of throughout your site. You can do all of that here. If we swing back to the library for just a second, you'll see that clicking on a media file will give you several different options to maybe rename the file, edit the file if you want to resize it or do anything like that. All of that happens here from this screen. You can also, going back here, you can also add captions. So if, for example, wherever the image is displayed on your site, if you want there to be a caption underneath, you would add that here on this screen. Okay, now I want to spend a few minutes talking about how forms are used on your site. Forms can be found by clicking on the Forms link here on the left-hand side of your dashboard. Now from here, I want to show you how to make just some simple changes to forms, as well as how to duplicate an existing form for future use. So for training purposes, let's take a look at your prayer request form. Okay, to edit a form, you would just click on the form name, which will take you to what's called the edit screen. Okay, and this is what your form looks like. Slightly different display, but all of the fields are there, the same as how it looks on the front end of your site. Okay, so from here you can add existing fields, you can edit existing fields, move things around. All of that happens just with a simple drag and drop motion, carrying them that way. Let me show you maybe just a simple change that we might make to this form. Let's say we would want to add a phone number field to this form. Okay, so to do that, we can go over to the right-hand side of the screen here, and we can search for the phone field. Okay, now from here, if you just click the button, it will automatically insert it here at the end of your form. I want to put it between the name and the email field, and so I'm just gonna drag it until you see that blue line appear, and then that will automatically place that field into my form. You can change a number of different settings. You can change the field name from phone to phone number if that's something that is important to you. The phone format defaults to international for some reason. We always change it to just a standard area code and then the 7-digit input, because I think that's what people are, most used to when they're entering in forms. You can make that field required if you want, which means that they can't submit the form without completing that field. All of those settings are just right here. For now, we're going to go ahead and delete this field. And so to do that, you would just click on this little trash can icon here. And it always asks you if you're sure that you want to do that, just to make sure. And we'll click OK. And then I don't think there's any other changes that we would make here. But just know that all of these existing fields can be edited in the same way as the new field that we added. Okay, we're going to click the Save Form button just to update our work. We didn't make any changes, but because we made even a partial change or a temporary change, you want to be sure and save that so that what is showing on the front end of your site is the actual form that you want people to see. Okay, now once you're happy with your form, whether you're editing an existing form or creating a new one, you can change its notification settings by hovering over this Settings menu at the top of the screen and then clicking on Notifications. Now clicking on this Admin Notification link here will show you that right now we have the responses or the form submissions for this form set to go to Naomi's email address. Okay, you can update that field. You can add another email address by just inserting a comma and then typing the email address there, however you want to do it. So just know that all of that happens under Settings and Notifications. Okay, clicking on the Entries option at the top of the screen will allow you to view any submissions that have been made to each of your forms. And then these entries, if you needed to, can be exported by clicking on the Import Export option on the left-hand side of your dashboard. Okay, so let's go back to your list of forms for just a second. Let's say that you wanted to duplicate your prayer request form and maybe make a few changes to it for another purpose. Okay, you don't want to edit the actual prayer request form that's on the front end of your site, but you want to make a similar form for a different use. Okay, this is as simple as just hovering over the form title and then clicking the word duplicate here underneath. Okay, this option would allow you to make small edits to a form while keeping the rest of the form intact and preventing you from duplicating that work in the future. Okay, it's a really nice tool to have. So now I want to move on to the Pages section of your dashboard. This is where you can access and edit your home page as well as any of your internal pages across your site. Okay, you can also create new pages by clicking the Add New button at the top of the page. Okay, so we'll start by taking a look at your home page. You'll find that down at the bottom of the list. Okay, and this is obviously a view. Let's look at the live homepage for just a second. And this is obviously a view that you guys are probably very familiar with already. This is your homepage. This is what visitors see when they first come to your site. And you'll see, I think initially, that your site is broken up into sections. Okay, so you have your navigation menu here at the top. You have a header, kind of the introduction to your site and to your church. You have this kind of tabbed viewing section where people can click on the arrows and see different bits of information or different menus. You have a really great slideshow here, kind of highlighting the different functions of your church, and then your footer at the bottom. Okay, so what I want to do is kind of show you what this looks like on the back end and how you might make changes to your homepage or to the different pages on your site. Okay, you do that by clicking Edit Page here. This will take us to the edit screen for the home page, but just know that for any page that you happen to be viewing, you can always click that edit page button at the top of your dashboard and it will take you to a screen that's similar to this one. Okay, so from here you'll see that the edit page screen is broken up into the same groups and sections that we just saw on the front end of your site. Okay, you have your header, your introduction, your purpose statement, that carousel photo slider that we saw. All of those sections are here on this edit screen as well. Okay, so that will help you know exactly which section of the homepage you want to focus in on for your editing purposes. Okay, so let's say that maybe we want to add a content section to your homepage. We're going to scroll down just for our purposes to the bottom of the page, and we're going to click Add Content Section and then Standard Page Section. Okay, now your site's introduction, along with any other section that contains text or images, it functions largely like a document in your typical word processing software. So anything within these sections can be edited to your liking. Okay, so let's say we want to create a call to action to our new section. We want to invite our website viewers to make a choice and complete an action. Okay, first you might include some text that says something like contact me today. Okay, so we would just type that in there right now. And remember what I said, that text size, color, boldness, anything like that can be edited to your liking right here in this screen. Okay, so let's say we want to highlight this, and I want to center it, and I want to make it bigger. So we would do that here. Okay, so it's very visual, very noticeable on our front end. Then let's say we want to maybe link it to a part of our website. So keeping that text highlighted, I'm going to click this, looks like a paperclip or a link option here. If you click on this link options button here, then this is where I can see all of the pages on your site. So maybe I want the Contact Me Today button to link to my contact page. Okay, so if I click here, then it will add a link to that page, and so viewers on the front end of your site, when they see that, when they click that link, it would take them directly to the contact page. Okay, other things that you can do here, you could add a background image just by clicking there. Takes you to your media library that we've already seen. Okay, you can add a background color. If maybe an image isn't what you're looking for, you can add a background color here. Okay, you can play around with spacing, different animations. That's not something we typically use too often on our sites, but that could be something that you may want to look into. All of those things happen right here in this standard page section box that we added. Okay, for now I'm not interested in keeping that on our site, and so I'm going to go ahead up here and I'm going to completely remove it. Now know that if you have something that you want to take down from your site for just a period of time, you can also use this toggle layout button that I'm hovering over here, and that will allow you to keep it on the back end so you don't have to duplicate that work in the future, but it becomes it's not visible on the front end of your site. So know that that is an option as well. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and remove that layout in order to delete that button from the front end of our site. But just know that those are the steps that you would take to either edit what is already existing here. Okay, this is again all text that you're familiar with, or to add new sections to your homepage or to any page across your site. Okay, now I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about how events are displayed on your site. The first is through a linked Google Calendar. So when you add or delete or update events on your Google Calendar, those should sync automatically with the calendar that's displayed on your events page, which I will navigate to shortly. Okay. The other tool you can use to display event listings are through what we call icons. So let me take you just to your home page, and then we'll navigate to your events page from here. Okay, so I'm clicking through the menu to your events page. These are what we refer to as icons. Okay, and this is another tool that you guys have for displaying your events. So from here, again, I'm going to click on the edit page option, which will always be at the top of our dashboard. This screen should look really familiar to you now. It's going to look the same for any page that you're editing, okay? Near the top, you're going to see a section called Icon Row, okay? That's this one here. This is the section that's displaying your Google Calendar, okay? And this is the section that displays your various icons. So scrolling down here, you see that you currently have 3 icons on display on your events page. So we have this youth night, we have the VBS option, and then we have one for your ladies brunch. Okay, so just a couple of different options here. This is very easy to use and navigate through. Let's say we want to delete one of these icons. You do that by hovering over the icon that you want to delete and then just clicking that remove row kind of minus sign button there. Okay, that will remove that specific icon, not the entire row, just the one icon. Okay, so you would do that one at a time. You can add a new icon by scrolling down here to the bottom and clicking the add icon button. Okay, and then to add a new icon, you'll simply click here, this add image button, to pick an image from your media library. You can also upload one. If remember the upload process that we talked about earlier, if maybe the image that you want to use isn't in the media library yet. So you'll select the icon image that you want to use. If you want to add text, you would do that in this field here. The ones that you have displayed right now don't have text, so you'd probably want to maintain a consistent look on that, but in the future, if you want to use text there, just know that that's an option. You can also link the different icons to either an external link, something outside of your website, or you can link it to a page on your site. So for example, if you're maybe the icon that you're adding is advertising an upcoming mission trip, then you may want to add a link to your missions page, and you do that down here by selecting link. And again, that's going to take you to that page that lists all of the pages on your site. And we would just, in this case, we would select missions there, and then it's going to add a link to our missions page. So when someone clicks on that icon, it would take you to your missions page. So if you were advertising a mission trip maybe, then you may want to add a link to your missions page, which has more details about the trip, okay? And then you wouldn't have to feel like you have to add all of the text right there, okay? So just for the sake of training, we're going to go ahead and remove the icon that we just added. I do like that it always prompts you and asks if you're sure. It's a really good step. And then we're going to update just to make sure our work is saved the way we want it to be. Okay, so that's the events page. And again, that Google Calendar option syncs automatically. Okay, now while your site I think is fairly straightforward in nature, there may be a need for you to add additional features in the future in either your menu or your header and footer section. So to edit your menu, you would do that through the appearance option here on your dashboard. and then we would click the menu option. Okay, so here you'll see the menu structure that currently exists on your site. You can add pages or custom links to your menu using the Add Menu Items section on the left, as well as drag and drop your various menu and sub-menu items on the right. So see how just by clicking on things, they move around very easily. Okay, so very user-friendly and easy to make changes as you need. Okay, reordering your menu if that's something that's important to you, or even adding a link to a page for a period of time and then taking it down. So maybe you want to draw special attention to an upcoming event. You know, we have a lot of churches that really want to emphasize their Vacation Bible School this time of year. Those types of things. All of that is very easy to do. You could just add a link here on maybe at the end of your menu, and then after a month or two, really easy to take it back down. Making changes here, it's important to know, doesn't delete the page. Okay, so let's say for whatever reason, maybe I don't want this resources option here anymore. If I take it out of my menu, it doesn't delete the page from my site. It just deletes that as a navigation option. So that's important for you to know. That work doesn't disappear or anything like that. It just changes the visibility, I guess, and the ease with which your users can navigate to it. So hopefully that makes sense. I want to show you too how we make changes to your site's header and footer. So when we're on the front end of your site, I'm sure this goes without saying, but this is kind of what we refer to as your header, where your navigation menu and logo are. And then down here, the footer of your site. Those changes happen again from the dashboard. You can go to that appearance menu and look for something called widgets. Okay, so I'm going to hover over widgets here and click on that. Everything that's at your header with your navigation menu is in this header right box, and everything that's included in the footer is found in this footer 1 and footer 2 box. Okay, so those changes, for example, the change to your service time that you had me make a week or so ago, all of that happens here within these boxes. Okay, so just know those are easy things to update, reorder, move around. All of those types of things can really be adjusted to your liking. Okay, next I want to show you how to add a user to share access to your site. To do this, you want to hover over the word users on the left hand side of your dashboard and then click Add New. Okay, first let me go back for just a second and show you, just so you can see at any time you can click on this All Users link and see who has access to your site. If we want to add new, let's say maybe you have someone in your office who's going to help you with changes to the site or something like that. You would go to this Add New screen, create a username, and you do need an email address. Typically for us, we make sure that those are the same fields, so we would use an email address and a username, both the same. And then we like to use the passwords that are generated by WordPress. They are very secure, they're long, and you're never going to remember it. And so that's what we typically do when we're creating new users for different sites. And then be sure that you save that password, because once you click this Add New User button here, you will not have access to see that again. And so be sure that you've documented that password, that you've sent it on to whomever you're creating the user for, and then go ahead and save your work. Okay. Something I want to show you now, kind of the next feature of your site, is something called WordPress tabs. And you find that here again on the left hand side of your dashboard. WordPress tabs is an accordion style plugin that your site uses currently to display what you guys call your core commitments. Okay, so from the WordPress tabs menu, you'll find your existing tabbed group here, and you can edit each one by clicking on the title, and then from here you just click on each one, and it's got another one of those text visual text editors where you can edit the text to your liking. These also can be moved around like this. It's just a drag and drop feature similar to what you'll find in other areas of the site. If you want to, you can update some of the formatting, how it appears visually on the front end of your site. We typically suggest that you don't do too much changing just because at the moment it is styled to kind of match the rest of your site, but just know that those options are there if you need them going forward. Okay, anything can be edited, deleted, added, whatever to your liking. Okay, now the final plugin that I want to show you is Slider Revolution, which we'll use to update that homepage images slideshow that currently displays on your homepage. Okay, so you'll find Slider Revolution typically listed near the bottom of your dashboard, and from here you'll see a number of slideshows that are currently in use across your site. Okay, so the one that I was referring to earlier is this homepage images slideshow here. Okay, now from here you can edit each slideshow separately by hovering over them and clicking the Show Slides button, which is the second button here. Okay, you'll see that you currently have 15 slides within your slide rotation for this slideshow. Okay, now let's say maybe you want to add a new background to your final slide. To add a new image, you would click on this button here to open it within the editor. And if you want to add a new background image, you would click on this third menu option, which is called Slide Options, on the right hand side of your screen. And then under the source, this heading here, you would just click on the media library to either add an existing image, maybe you like one of these, or you can upload a new image in the way that we discussed earlier. Okay, so that is how you could change the background for an existing slide. You can also add a new slide again by hovering over the slides menu option here at the top, and maybe scrolling down. Let's say we want our new slide to be at the end of the existing slideshow. We would scroll down to the last slide here and then just click on this little duplicate option, which will create a new slide immediately after the last slide. Okay, now right now, because this slide is a duplicate, you see we went from 15 to 16, it's going to have the same background as the previous slide, but just know that you can change that in the manner that I described earlier in this video. Okay, now again, just like with everything, you want to save your work once you've updated your slider to your liking. So for now, we're going to delete this new slide that we created by clicking on this little trash can icon, so that no changes will be made to our existing slideshow. And then we will click Save to save our slideshow, and now everything on the front end should look just as it did when we started. So those are some of the basic steps for editing your site. If you guys have any questions or run into any issues, we're happy to offer additional support as needed.